What's going on, YouTube? My name is Skill87, and today's video I want to review or talk about, in a sense, Resident Evil Revelations 2 for the PC. So this game has just really caught me off guard because I'm just really digging the shit out of this game. But before that, two things. One, for those who are confused that I did not review Evolve of the Order 1886, I decided to make a very big decision. I have been living in my own place for quite some time now, and if it's one thing I truly lacked was a vacuum. Never really thought I needed one because I have wood floors and tiles. And then, you know, you guys know I got me a German Shepherd now. He's over a year old, and this dog sheds so much. And I was doing well with Swiffer Duster and this thing, but I decided to step it up a notch, and I decided to skip Evolve because I was about to spend I'm about to spend $60 in a game that I know for a fact is going to be dead in a month. I know it. I'm at this point now where I'm just not going to be buying games like I used to, because now that I'm MMO gaming, and MMO gaming is like life, but I cannot justify spending $60 on Evolve. Now, the Order 1886 is a mixed bag for me. I want to experience the game. I want to play it, but I'm not willing to spend $60 on it either. But don't get me wrong. I actually really want to play it. I don't care what the reviews state. To me, the game looks ridiculously, it just looks ridiculous. I need to experience the Order. I'm more than likely going to rent it. I might borrow it. I will play the game, but I skipped it because I just couldn't give myself to spend $60 on the Order. I bought myself this ridiculously awesome vacuum, and ever since I had this vacuum, like, my place has felt so fucking clean. I vacuum my dog. It's hilarious. Like, my dog, I straight up vacuum my dog, and he loves it. So let's hit a deal with, if anyone is a dog owner and you have a long-haired dog, a German Shepherd, you know exactly what I'm going through when it comes to dog shedding, especially in the winter season when they get a double coat. It's some bullshit. So let's talk about Resident Evil Revelations 2, and it's one of these games that you love to hate, but you absolutely love it at the same time. Okay, Resident Evil Revelations 2 is a continuation of Resident Evil Revelations that was a humongous hit on 3DS. It was a ridiculous hit, and then it came to the PC and consoles, like, a long time after its initial release. And from a handheld standpoint, Revelations was fucking awesome. From a console standpoint, Resident Evil Revelations 1 wasn't all that hot, because if you're gonna port a game that was designed for handheld and port it to a big screen, it's just not gonna feel the same way other Resident Evils would feel. Now, granted, the game plays very similar to how Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 played. It's just the way the game, the animations, everything, they're very pro handheld. So right there and then, you should know that this game graphically is not that pleasing to the eye. And I feel that when they were developing this game, they kind of did not take that into consideration, because this game, Resident Evil Revelations 2, is not available for the 3DS. It's available for the PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PC, and PlayStation Vita. And the way the graphics look in this game, it looks like the game was built from the ground up and designed from the ground up to work on the Vita. From a handheld standpoint, Revelations is phenomenal for handheld. For the big screen, not so much. And then the fact that this game wasn't even built on a 3DS, I'm over here thinking that they would build the engine for console. No, it seems they took the engine made for handheld, they concentrated its development on the PlayStation Vita, and they ported it to the consoles and the PC. So let's talk about Resident Evil Revelations. It's 4 chapters long. Okay, I got the PC version. I believe I got it for $25. You pay $25 for the PC version, and you get all 4 chapters. Last week, the first chapter released. This week, well, today, technically, today's chapter release. You got 2 more chapters to go. Each chapter offering something different than the last. Then this game also has what's called a raid mode, an online shop, etc. So why is it I'm really fond of this Resident Evil? And it's getting kind of awkward hate, but at the same time, it's getting a lot of love. It's one of those games that, it's like Resident Evil 5 and 6 all over again. Resident Evil 5 and 6 were both great. Well, 5 was amazing. 6 was like, but they were both technically financially successful. Resident Evil Revelation feels going to do the same thing. So let's talk about Resident Evil Revelations 1. I have 2 installed. I have not played it yet. Resident Evil Revelations 1 has you playing as Claire Redfield and Barry Burton. And they're bringing back the partner system that was really, really popular in Resident Evil 0. I was extremely pleased when I played Resident Evil 0 many years ago on the GameCube, when I got to play as Rebecca and Billy. I thought that concept was like ridiculous as hell. Then Resident Evil 4 came out. No, but I forgot which one came first. Then 5 came out, and I loved the co-op in that. And then 6 came out, and granted the game had co-op. 6 was like a big hit and miss. But I'm a big fan of Resident Evil 5. That's one of my top games that I've ever played because I played the shit out of 5 with my brother, and we played for hours and hours and hours. I platinumed that game. It took weeks, but it was worth it. I thought Resident Evil 5 was like a gold mine of entertainment. And they brought back this concept, okay? Now, what's awkward about this concept is that your partners in this game are not as effective as the initial character. Example, when you play as Claire, which is obviously much older. She has like bangs underneath her eyes now. She's an older woman, but guess what? We get to play as Claire again, and everyone loves Claire. You get to walk out with Barry Burton's daughter. I had to actually look up this girl's name because all she says in the game is fuck every 2 seconds. I forgot her name. Moira, some shit like that. But while you're playing as Claire, Claire runs around, does the typical Claire thing. She's the one that takes down the zombies, etc. The gameplay is Resident Evil 4. She shoots a zombie in the head, he gets stunned, you get to do the little kick on him, etc. Nothing new with the gameplay. But Moira, her purpose is to use a flashlight, find hidden items, and blind enemies. When you play as Barry Burton, you have a little girl running around with you. It's all mysterious and shit. And she's kind of like the stealth approach to the game. And what's cool about the game is you play half the game as Claire, then the other half of the game is Barry. When you play as Claire, the game kind of feels like Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 with a little mixture of old school Resident Evil with some puzzle solving. When you play as Barry, Barry's equipped much better than Claire, and the game takes on a more like... You ever play those extra modes in 4, 5, and 6 where you just take on hordes of enemies? That's what Barry Burton's campaign feels like. It's more action-paced. It's more action-packed. Trying to give you a little bit of both of what Resident Evil is known for. The pacing, the graphics, let's talk about all that. First, the sound effects. The sound effects, I feel, are just thumbs up. I think they're great. The voice acting's always been, to me, hilariously awesome in Resident Evil. The sound effects of your enemies, the bullet sounds are top tier. But the voice acting is a hit and miss. Claire and Barry sound like the typical selves, but when you have Moira with you, I just can't help but feel a little aggravated. I hate this character, but I love this character. Every 2 seconds, every other word out of her mouth is fuck. It's like, at first it's kind of, it's charming, it's cute. It's like, okay, you got this little girl with you, and she's following Claire, but every 2 seconds, fuck. Every cutscene, fuck. It's like, okay, it's like the scriptwriter said, how can we make this character so fucking revolting? Because Claire, as always, is very professional. Claire's Claire. Everyone loves Claire. The train, the fan wagon, the fan, just the train itself of Claire's, and Claire is still Claire. She's still that brave, charming female protagonist that a lot of people love to cosplay and shit like that. Nothing's really changed about Claire. I like Claire because, unlike a lot of females in gaming, Claire doesn't have humongously huge tits or humongous ass. She's like this perfectly rendered female character that people can appreciate. She's not sexualized, etc. I'm not saying I like big ass titties, but at the same time, sometimes you got these females in these games that just really exaggerate. It's like, okay, dude, how can I take this girl seriously? She has like quad Ds and shit. But Claire Redfield, her design is quite nice. Barry's the shit, but this girl Moira, oh my god, every second, fuck, fuck, fuck. Like she's an enemy, fuck. I'm like, yo, shut up. I'm over here playing the game like just like aggravated. But at the same time, I like the fact that she's there. I like the fact that she's there because she adds a sense of urgency. Because she follows you everywhere and she helps you take on, the zombies. And her character is, because she's so young, in a sense, it almost makes sense to me that someone, so she's arrogant, she's young, she's like a that hipster kid you want to throw out a fucking window, and she follows you around everywhere, and she actually does help you. I think it's like, that's why I say it's a hit and miss with her. Let's talk about the graphics. The graphics, like I said, from a PlayStation Vita standpoint, are great. For big screen standpoint, no, these graphics is bad. When you look at an enemy, remember when you played Resident Evil 4 and you shot your first enemy in the face, and he did one of these numbers, and he looked back at you, and when you played 5, and you're fighting these African dudes, and when you shot them, you saw the anger in their fucking face. It is not existent. These graphics, Resident Evil Revelations 2, granted the game's in the 1080p and it runs 60 frames per second. This game does not look any better than Resident Evil 4. If possibly Resident Evil 4 looks better than this game. The only thing separating this game from Resident Evil 4 is that this game has PC options like anti-aliasing, 60 frames per second, and 1080 pixels. So it doesn't have that stretched look that Resident Evil 4 had back in the day. But technically speaking, this game has PS2 graphics. I'm not even gonna fucking lie. The animations are very bare bones. There is nothing graphically advanced or modern day about this game. It's like a fucking, it's like a stretched PS2 game. The game runs smoothly. You know what I'm saying? The game is 1080p, 60 frames. You got PC option, anti-aliasing, etc., shadow options. But doesn't change the fact that the zombies, everything about this game just looks so dated. Claire seems to have a lot of detail in her face. I thought that was awkward. Like, of all things, Claire's face is very detailed. So don't even like come into this game thinking you get like badass graphics. First off, every chapter's like $5-6 on console, or you can get the season pass, and you get all the chapters, and you save a couple bucks. So don't go. So this game in general, as a whole, is not even $30. It's less than $30. So don't go into this game thinking you're gonna get a badass graphic game. The sounds is good. The gameplay is what we come to expect from from 4, 5, and 6. So come into this game with an open mind and just, I think this game, the best way to put it is like it's like a fan service game. It releases it in chapters and shit. It has a bit of good, a bit of bad. So why am I so stoked about a game that's coming out in chapters? The graphics ain't that good. It's because the game's charming to me. And I love the fact that when you play as Claire, the game has like the old school zombies, and when you play as Barry, it kind of mixes it up. It kind of mixes in the new approach to Resident Evil. But then here's the heart and soul and the biggest reason a lot of people bought this game. This game is a hidden RPG. And when I mean by hidden RPG, you know how every Resident Evil now has like the extra mode, you get to play for fun, shits and giggles and shit like that. This game is called Raid Mode. And Raid Mode is the most ridiculous fucking minigame played in quite some time. I love Raid Mode. I love Raid Mode so fucking much. I have about 12 hours in it so far, and I cannot believe what a gem Raid Mode is. Raid Mode is basically a mission-based RPG. You're given a selection of characters, and you're given up a level of system. Every episode, you unlock like 20 to 30 more raid modes, and the feeling of progression is there. There's RPG mechanics. You shoot an enemy in the head. Enemies have levels on them. You shoot them in the head. You see numbers pop up. Every fucking level, you gain something new. You gain so much new shit. The feeling of progression is there. I'm saying to myself, this game is a better RPG than most RPGs to say. This makes no sense to me. There's this intense feeling of progression. I love the fact that it's not like Resident Evil 4, where you're kind of timed in every stage, and you get a certain amount of kills, or trying to build up a timer. No, every stage is pretty much kill the amount of enemies, don't die, and then you can actually take your time. Some stages are timed, but that's not every stage. You got like a handful of stages that are timed, and you're given so much time, it's ridiculous. It's just fun. And then enemies come out and they got like special effects. You got like ice bullets, fire bullets, double shot. All types of shit that you wouldn't think would ever make an appearance in Resident Evil is here. All types of crazy RPG mechanics. All types of fucking skills you can equip. All types of different approaches to build you can for your character. I'm like, yo, this is an RPG for real. It's crazy. So I love it. Definitely. If you're not going to pick up this game for the story, at least pick it up for the raid mode. I'm telling you, it's worth every penny. The raid mode is ridiculous. And like I said, every chapter you can buy it individually, or you get the season pass. The game at the end of the day is under $30. As far as downloadable content is concerned, people talk about the downloadable content. There's nothing in the downloadable content that I deem, like shit talk worthy. You can buy extra storage space for your weapons in raid mode. That is like completely harmless because I just sell all my old shit. I don't need extra space. That's like a fucking luxury. That's like driving a Mercedes-Benz. There's no point. It's just a luxury. You can buy top tier guns. So every episode they release, they're going to release the strongest guns up to that chapter. But there's no point because every time you beat a stage, you're given brand new equipment. So like I said, the feeling of progression is there. If you want to spend extra dollar on fucking guns, go for it. You don't need to. It's not required. You don't not need to buy shit. Then you can buy Albert Wesker, which I might buy because I think Albert Wesker is like the coolest shit. And you can buy some costumes. Whoop-de-fucking do. I don't even care about the DLC. It ain't like the DLC beats the game for you. We're at a point now there's DLC in every fucking game. Like, I don't even care no more. I don't sweat it no more. It is what it is. This is how developers get their money. At the end of the day, I'm still getting a fine game. I technically paid $7 for episode 1, and I have over 12 hours into it. $6 to $7 for a game, I have over 12 hours into it. That to me is great. If you're one of those people that follows the dollar rule, where if you spend $60 in a game, you have to get about 60 hours, $1 per hour, then it's worth it. So I definitely got my money's worth. I'm about to play this shit right now. I'm not going to give the game a 1 through 10 score because it's just not, to me, it's a game under $30. So to compare it to a game you spend $60 on, what I will say is definitely worth your time and it's worth your money. And it's cheap to begin with. You're going to get lots of fun. Definitely check out Resident Evil Revelations 2 on the PC, PS Vita, old school console, new school console, and catch you guys next video. Deuces.